So I wanted to talk a little bit about the bridles that I created and why I decided to do this. So as an avid equestrian for most of my life, I obviously have bought a lot of horse tack, and as I've learned more and grown more as a horse trainer and equestrian over the last several years, I've started to look for a more comfortable and kind tack to use on my horses. In doing so, I realized that there was a huge problem in the market, which was that it's very hard to find any bridle that doesn't have a flash, drop, or a crank noseband, let alone an anatomical one. Finding an anatomical one that doesn't have a drop noseband is actually quite difficult. Most of them have some form of flash on them, and the ones that don't, I have found, are exceptionally expensive. So the market being priced so high and also there being so few options without flashes was something that I found especially frustrating. So I began to look into what I could do to rectify this problem in terms of creating my own bridles. I started this in late 2020, in like November, December 2020. And then by spring 2021, I had this bridle developed along with a bitless bridle that I'll show you, but let's talk about this one first. This bitted bridle is called the Harlow bridle. I named it after an off-the-track thoroughbred mare that I got recently who had a lot of pole soreness and head issues from being galloped in an elevator bit and just having soreness from how she went around carrying herself. Because of this, she tended to be a head tosser, and she really did not like any type of bridle that did not have a padded monocrown. When I tried this bridle on her, it was a big difference, and she was considerably more comfortable, so she was my first little test subject for this, and I was really, really happy with it, and I also loved the fit of it and the fact that there was no drop, crank, or flash noseband. This is Harlow wearing the Harlow bridle. And then what I also decided to do was offer a sheepskin option for people that wanted a little extra padding for horses who had really thin, sensitive skin and who might be prone to rubs. I never had problems with this bridle rubbing on Harlow, the one without sheepskin, but I did this to give another option, again, at an affordable price. Because I'd also found that sheepskin bridles were exceptionally expensive. So I wanted to make the things affordable for people. That was a big thing for me. I didn't want to price out the very people who helped support me over all these years, or who were role models for me when I was younger, or who were just like me when I was younger in terms of their budget and their goals and everything. And then with the bitless bridle, my goal was to do the anatomical bridle, but also have it be a pretty bitless bridle that had fancy stitching and had a similar look to a lot of the popular bitted styles, because I found that bitless bridles kind of get the shit end of the stick when it comes to prettiness and options. There are not enough bitless options out there, in my opinion, and there's not enough nice bitless bridles. And also I find that there's also hard to find a bridle that's not the cross under style or a hackamore shank. So my goal was to make a side pull bitless bridle that is basically the same action as a halter, so very, very soft, but pretty and something that could be used at shows if riders so choose. And this is where I created the Milo bitless bridle. This is the Milo bitless bridle named after my rescue horse Milo. You can shop this at the link in my description.